Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano, trying to get my voice back from all that screaming yesterday. We had some really nice races. We'll be showing you a couple of those races a little later on during the lightning round, a couple of really spectacular two-year-olds. That's a little later on. Brian, good morning.
Yep.
Fast main track, Tapeta. Big jackpot, gross and guarantee in the Rainbow Six.
350 in there. Get involved because it's getting up there, and it's going to grow even quicker than this. And I still think this gives you a puncher's chance at 350. And we've seen it over the past several racing days. There's been live tickets into the finale. I think both the horses put a scare into it yesterday, right down inside the 1 and the 2. You like the 2 a little bit.
Yeah, I liked the 2. I thought the 2 was going to get it, but just you cannot beat Saffy Joseph Jr. yesterday at all. Usually can't beat him at all anyway, but yesterday 5 wins. We'll also talk about that during the lightning round. So it's a fun lightning round. Good day of racing. A couple of really interesting races. Our first race is going to be on the Tapeta at about 5.5 furlongs. A maiden claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, 25,000. No scratches. Jockey change. Very few scratches on the card today.
Yeah.
Brian's got his early pick 5 ticket.
Very rare that I don't have a single, but this is one of those sequences. $24. We'll get to the opener in a second. 24 is the order in race 2. That's Meet the Beauty on top. In race 3, it goes 73. Top pick there, Hurry Up Deer on the outside. 32 in race 4, Mount Sinai. I told Ronnie yesterday, hey, but I picked your old guy, Mount Sinai, or her, I should say. So she's on top for me there. And then 84 to get out. That's number 8, Creative Kid. I think, Ron, we'll talk about the opener. I have a price in there, but I think for the rest of the majority of this sequence, it looks a little tight and formful to me.
Yeah, so $24, still very affordable. Getting back to this first race, the current 8-5 favorite right now is Bullet on Tap. Brian, I went a little different way. I went with Cupid Austin to 7, who I thought was a solid second at this level and distance. That was 2 starts back. He drops. You look at his last race, he tracked the pace. He weakened against 40 maiden option claimers for Scott Acker. Our leading jock, Miguel Vasquez, is going to jump aboard.
Yeah, I mean, the chances are adding up. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Yeah. But, this is a class drop here. Hasn't run poorly. Then you look at the race at the level 2 back, and, I think that's the race everybody's looking up to here. So Miguel gets aboard. That's positive. He was aboard 2 back as well. So, yeah, I don't argue with anybody that thinks Cupid Austin is the horse to beat.
And you have your top pick in here is the number 2 horse in there, and that's Candy Mom. And this one ran against Cupid Austin last time.
I mean, this is my long shot play of the day in here, 15 on the line. I was hoping for about half of this. Nobody saw this trip, apparently. It's not in the running line at all. Ronnie, this horse had plenty of trouble entering the far turn, had some run, had to idle behind traffic, and then finally when got free, ran on a little bit. I think it's a hidden trip maybe. I guess it wasn't picked up in the chart. I expect this horse to move forward in a big way for Jose D'Angelo's second out. We've gotten the tightener out of the way now. I think this horse can run a little bit, and we're going to get a square price in here.
Yeah, for sure. 6-1 right now, but very early in the wagering. Now the big favorite is the number 1 Bullet on Tap. And here's the reason why. Probably moving to the Rohan Crichton barn after the claim. Drops to the 25 level after chasing the pace. Finishing 3rd, that was against 35 maidens, going 5 on the Tapeta. I think you have a stat on Rohan Crichton.
I did. Rohan's 38% off the claim. I doped this out even more. He's 38%, first off the claim on Tapeta. It's unbelievable the job the barn does. Now, with that being said, a lot of these off the claim winners, weren't from Jose D'Angelo. That's easier said than done.
Right.
Now, can we maintain the form? Yeah, maybe we can. That's fine. A little bit of a class drop. I don't really worry about that too much in here. I think Bullet on Tap is definitely a major player. I just feel like it's tough to improve off Jose, and maybe Cupid Austin to me is the one to beat. It's a fine margin though.
And with this first race, this is a first-time starter in here by Ron Spatz. That's the daughter of Garner Strait and number 5 Yoloma. 18% with his first-time starters. As we always mention, watch the board during this race. You can look up there right now. 8-1, not taking that much money, and that's a good tell maybe when you're putting your early pick 5 ticket together. Race number 2 this afternoon. We're going to stay on the Tapeta. We're going to stay sprinting on the Tapeta. This one about 5.5 furlong, claiming fillies 3. 4 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 12-5 down to 10,000, 7 in the field. We got our exacta flip-flop. Let's start with your horse, the number 2, Meet the Beauty, who's dropping to his lowest level yet.
Well, there you go, right there. I mean, maybe this is the time now. We're 1 for 12, but he's been running well. Underneath. Jose Pinchin's had a very good Royal Palm meet. I'm just kind of hoping the drop puts her over the top. You know, Ron, I think I'll throw it to you with Golden Isle. The gap behind these two is pretty big, I think.
Yeah, number 4, Golden Island, one of the angles we talk about all the time, the only 2-time winner in the field, you'd think would be primed and ready to score after returning from the layoff. She's opened and then surrendered a 3-length lead when finishing second against 12-5 claimants, and that was going 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Jose D'Angelo, who you have in the first, coming back, and he's got this horse. You look back, he claimed this horse twice.
Yeah.
You know, he likes this horse, and he's got Luca Panici named to ride today. So lots of good angles on the number 4 horse in race 2.
Yeah, the old reclaim. The only thing I didn't like is a 3-length open length lead last time and didn't get it done. Now, with that being said, she flew early on.
Let's go to race number 3. Hey, if you like Tapeta, we'll be on it again, once again, for the 3rd race at about 1.70 miles. Maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. $16,000, and we both have some interest in the number 7, Hurry Up There. He's hoping for clear sailing today. We're going to just go back and show you this race. We're going to show you this horse, Hurry Up There, getting shuffled back on the far turn. There you see as the number 9 that afternoon, and just here, just looking for that space to run, and he's got to pull on the old brakes and shuffle back, and just there's nowhere really for this horse to run, so he has to like back out of the situation, and we're going to follow it all the way to the wire here because there's no real place where I wanted to take a break. And then this horse is going to run well out of the picture right now because of that, tough shuffle back. And you're going to see this horse coming into your stretch here in a few moments and run well. I thought ran exceptionally well. You're going to see closing now and just has to go and find that spot. And there it is. You see on the outside the number 9 horse who there you go, Bob, who we were highlighting on. Now, after all of that, this horse is just coming down the lane and runs pretty good.
Runs huge. And by the way, the winner, Hard Spun Woman, comes right back to win. So it's a live race. Hard Spun Woman, the 2 here, gutting it out to her credit. She got first run. I thought this was a very, very good effort, Ron. You showed the trouble. I had it, in my notes as well. And let's just get clear sailing today, and we'll see what we can do.
I went with the number 5 in second, Brian. Hotter Than July. I was wheeling back after setting the pace and weakening to finish 5th at this level and distance. The daughter of Practical Joke. I see her as the speed. There's not any speed in this race the way I doped it out, and it's just daughter of Practical Joke. She may not be on the lead, but she could be just off it if she chooses to and run well in here. And I thought that she had a big shot. Edgar Zeiss, the rider, he had 3 wins yesterday.
Yeah, the only question is, maybe Chantel sends Callie Devine. Other than that, you're absolutely right. And the other thing, too, is note last time Hotter Than July was in the outside stall, the 9-hole. She had to work a little bit to get on the lead. I don't think she has to work as hard today, and it's a much, much better draw, too.
And you have Call Divine. I was torn between Call Divine, put in second, third, kept going back and forth.
Well, she's tactical, so she's going to be close. And, Chantel Sutherland back. Willie Boy for Jorge Delgado. And Chantel ran very well in the Grade 1 Vanderbilt yesterday. Good to see him go out of town and be Grade 1 stakes placed. And, there's options here. I think Callie Devine showed last time we don't have to go too far out of it. Like maybe she dropped back 2 back. Going to be close throughout, and I think that's a good spot to be in. As we kind of alluded to, there's no speed in this race at all.
Yeah, there really is. And that's going to be an important factor in that race. Let's go to race number 4. 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, claiming fillies, 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 2. 35 down to $25,000. Got my long shot in this race, and that's the 4 Hey Hey Paula, who's stepping up to face winners at the $25,000 level. I know that. I'm going to go back and pick this horse's race up at the top of the stretch. And where we're picking it up here, she was involved in this 4-horse duel all the way through this, and I just love the connections with John Vincent. All his horses run exceptionally well. I know this horse broke its maiden, was only for 12.5. I just thought this horse ran a bang-up race. Of course, he is the number 3 in there, so I'm taking a little bit of shot. And he's 2 for 4 at the meet, John Vincent. And his record, he doesn't start a lot of horses, but he always seems to win.
I think, don't quote me, but I think after this debut win, he's something like 5 for 7 with first-time starters too. It's off the page. She ran really, really well last time, and you'll probably get a decent price on the rise too.
Yeah, just that's the rise up in there, and that's what I was hoping on in there. I'm not going to tell the Mount Sinai joke again for the one you have on top. I got in trouble last time, even though it was a good joke. I'll tell you if you see me around here walking around, I'll tell you the joke. Tell me about Mount Sinai.
Well, I mean, you look at Hey Hey Paula, you look at It's Nora Now, certainly Tempora, War of Ages on the outside. They all have an abundance of speed, and so here's Mount Sinai. maybe licking her chops and letting it all develop in front of her. And Miguel Vasquez, takes back a little bit. Rode her last time. I thought she ran fine against probably just a shade better. Now on a little bit of a drop with a great race flow, maybe finally she knocks the door down because admittedly, her 6 starts against winners, a little iffy.
Well, the horse you were alluding to in there, one of those speeds in there, is 6 Tempora, who's stepping up to face winners. This one dueled throughout and held on gamely to beat that next out winner. I say, hey. Now, that was a $35,000 sprint going 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. So you could see why I may get a price with Hey Paula if my thought process was right, that I thought that was a really good race. Forget about the level. And this one is Ralph Nix. He's 31% with this type of layoff, and he's got Chantal going for 2 in a row.
Yeah, they're 20% together. And, Tempora did well to draw outside all the other speed. So if nothing else, theoretically, it gives Chantel some options to see what's happening to her left, proceed accordingly. I'm hoping this falls apart. We're going to snappy 5, though. That's a little dicey.
Yeah, and you got David's Rose. Do you think that one might start?
Another one, yeah. Stalker, Eddie Pleasa, and Kevin Krieger have not a huge sample. They've done some really good work together.
That's probably how the race is going to unfold, because when you see a bunch of speeds in there, we'll see how it plays out. But hey, Paula, I remember that song.
That song, right?
Yeah, I remember that song. Your dad and I remember that song, put it that way. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. Hey, we're on the fast main track for race number 5, mile claimer 3-year-olds. 4 and up numbers of 2 in life, 12-5 down to 10. Rainbow 6 starts here. Huge $350,000 gross jackpot guarantee. 43.20 for me. There is my ticket. I do have a single. We'll talk about the 5th in a minute. Going to race number 6, I went with Katie's Dream Girl, Caronville, and Short Circuit in there. Race 7, Our Fantasy. I'm on the Cesar Figueroa bandwagon. I think this horse is going to run well. Going to show you a video about that, the horse's last race. Then you got race 8. I went 3 deep in there. Dreaming of Audrey is my best. Hey, the 9th race, this is a fantastic race. I know Chocolate Bar, the 7's the one to beat in there. Brasstown I like. Armor G6 I like. And I like Noble Drama, is one of my favorite horses. I'm not letting any one of those 4 beat me. And then just 2 deep in the last race with the number 7 horse Bankers Hours and Jet Air on my ticket. So 43.20 for me.
Yeah, I listen, that 9th race is a real cracker of a race. I had Chivalry on top. He came out. I was disappointed at that, but the gang's all here. These horses like to take turns beating on each other. I can't wait for it. It's exciting. It's going to turn into a little bit of a jockey's race, I think, too. We'll get to it in a second. But, I mean, there's a lot of different things that can be going on within the race, too.
Yeah, because when I was when I was handicapping it, I kept saying, no, I'm going to put this one on.
Exactly.
No, I'm going to put this one on, Chocolate Bar, Fasto Goody. We'll talk about that race in a minute. Getting back to the 5th, I did go with the number 8, Creative Kid, who's plunging today to the 12-5 level and trying the main track for the first time after back-to-back 4th place finishes. One was against 35 optional claimers on the Tapeta. The other one was a 75 optional claimer sprinting on the turf. This barn is sharp. They know where to put their horses. Elizabeth Dobles, Miguel Vasquez handling, so it's a combo surface switch and stretch out move.
Yeah, you said it. This barn knows where to put their horses. Listen, I don't like to drop it. I mean, I readily admit that. And for 12-5, it's dicey, but Elizabeth and Imaginary Stables, they like to win races. They do a good job together. As you said, Ronnie, spotting their horses where they belong, and just maybe that's where Creative Kid is here. I like the fact, he hasn't lost his form by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like, he's going completely the wrong way. Now I think this is a pretty good spot for him.
I went with the number 9, Pork Chop, in second. I wish Ashley was around today because she likes all these horses named after some kind of food. So Pork Chop is stepping up and stretching out to a mile after drawing clear to defeat those 12-5 maidens, going 7 on the main track. Jose D'Angelo, he's got the now 7-pound apprentice. Jason Way is going for 2 in a row. So this horse ran okay last time out.
Yeah, take note. If you print it early, Jason now picks up the 3 pounds. He's a 7-pound now. Pete will give you all that. Not a lot to do for Pete today. Not any too many changes or scratches. Listen, Pork Chop's outside, comes in off a powerful win for this rider. So, you know, it's not the worst spot in the world to take a recent maiden winner.
And you did go with the number 4 horse in this particular race, and that's Desert Ruler in second.
You know, I think we've probably got a pretty heavy favorite on top, Ron, and Creative Kid, so maybe we get some value underneath. Desert Ruler is, I don't know, maybe a poor man's version of Creative Kid. He's dropping stiffly, too, as well. He didn't run last time on the Tapeta. I like that dirt race 2 back. It wasn't bad at all against a really, really good field of a Revolution. I don't know, 2 or 3 to 5 that day, I believe, in his comeback. So, you know, Desert Ruler on the drop. Maybe this wakes him up, too.
And Astro Weeks, who we both have, is stepping up to face winners after a solid maiden win from a tough outside post. Post 11, he drew clear. He defeated those maidens going to 1-turn mile. Pedro Garcia, Edgar Perez in the saddle.
Yeah, I got to make him prove it right back. I don't know where that race came from, and I think he regresses today. But he can get a piece.
Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon. This one is about 1.70 miles odds on the Tapeta, claiming fillies 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life. Hey, here's one of those scratches, the number 2, winning at ease. Let's take a look at your late pick 5 ticket.
40-50 on the scratch of Chivalry, so we knock it down a little bit. My single, I'm with you, Ronnie. It sounded like our fantasy's your best bet of the day. I'm with you 100%. I got Allura Moore in the 8th on top in there, and so a 3x3x3 late pick 3 in the middle of it is Tune In that tough race. I admittedly scratch in to Tune In, and then to get it out in race 10, we go a little bit to the outside. War Feather, Edgar Perez at what should be a decent price.
We haven't had the same single in a while, you know.
No.
Race, and that was the number 4 fantasy.
Well, it's because you haven't had a single in a while.
Yeah, because I like to wear, you know, put tickets together that got a chance, you know. No, just don't. Brian does a good job. Mile 70 on the Tapeta, claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 3, as you mentioned. You only one of, I think, 2 or 3 scratches on the whole card, winning at ease. Yeah, 2 scratches. I did go, well, let's start with your horse, Jazzy T. And this one here, boy, from a hot barn.
Well, that's a great segue to the stat here, because Bobby D has been on a roll of late, Bobby DeBona. Past 30 days, this is just overall a blanket here, 5 of 10 with a huge 546 ROI. And I think this is a decent claim here because Jazzy T had some trouble last time. I had him about 8 or 9 wide on the far turn, and he had aim, and he predictably, you know, flattened out late. Ronnie, off the claim for a barn that's been going good, 14% off the claim barn is Bobby D. We're going to save all the ground down in here. I think it's a pretty wide open race, too.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brian, wide open race, and when you see that stat printed out, 5 for 10, and making, because you say, well, boy, he's been winning some races, but you don't know it till you know, do some research and put it in print. So the horse I might have to go and revisit there. I like that pick by you. I did go with the number 4, Katie's Dream Girl, beating the neck against better at this distance on the Tapeta. Now you got to go back a little bit. That was 3 starts. Returns to the all-weather surface today at the 20 level after facing tougher on the turf. We're going to say with limited success. Bill Theranos, he's really good with the turf to Peter Angle. We watched them all championship meet, do it each and every day. And you get Miguel Vasquez handling the surface switch this afternoon. That's a lot of positives for me.
I agree, and we talked about this when this horse ran last time. Billy's not here. I mean, Billy's here in the championship meet, and then he goes back to his home base in Woodbine. So the fact that he dipped in and he claimed this horse, I thought is significant. Now we go back to the Tapeta, and she's run very, very well on the Tapeta. I mean, I had her in 4th. I'd probably, I don't want to spread too much in this pick 5, but, you know, she's a horse you definitely have to give a look to.
And the number 3, Caronville, is stepping up the competition. She came off the bench, an 8-month layoff to set the pace and finish second against 12-5 condition claimers. Going the same mile, 70-yard distance for Armando de la Cerda. Samuel Camacho Jr. named to ride. Looks like a logical fit.
Well, Ronnie, this horse is absolutely loose as can be. I don't know what that means in the final furlong, but there's nobody running with this horse early. We got the tightener out of the way. She's a huge threat to take them gate to wire.
Yeah, the speed in that particular race. Let's flip the page. and go to race number 7 this afternoon. And number 7 is 7 furlongs, allowance optional claimers, state breds on the fast main track. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The optional tag is 20,000. No scratches in this race. And you saw that both Brian and I have some interest in the number 4, Our Fantasy. I'm going to go back and show you this horse's last run. We're going to show you the start first here. He's number 3 that day. You're going to watch it. This horse, she hesitates and breaks slowly. You can see there, so she's sort of a little behind the 8 ball. You just watch her where she ends up sitting. You know, she has to sit behind the pace after that pull break. Now we're going to go from the top of the stretch home. When she closes, now she's got to duck along the inside, and I think she runs a pretty good race after that slow start. I mean, you can make a case that maybe she could have won this race if she had a little bit more, but I think she's fine, and she ends up finishing second.
No, I love her in this spot, too. I agree totally. She's had trips in her last 2 races, actually. And the other thing I like a lot, Ronnie, and another reason why I really feel strongly about her, Cesar Figueroa, A, is you can't do anything wrong. And B, you know what he did, Ronnie, since his last race? 2 gate works. So let's behave a little better at the start today, okay? And so I'd like to think we're going to get that with 2 gate works showing. To me, she's heck to pay in here. Wouldn't shock me at all if she goes off favorite.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. And I think going from post 4 today with no scratches will help this horse also. American, of course, is the 6, is hoping to save a little more for the stretch drive. Went up and set the pace and finished second. That was the horse that was in front of Our Fantasy, but not last race. This was back on June 12th, so you have to do some, reverse handicapping here. Kathleen O'Connell, Edgar Perez named. You know why? Edwin Gonzalez is going to stick with Our Fantasy.
Yeah, 4 second-place finishes in a row. That's a little dicey. And the other problem I think I have with American, of course, who's to her direct outside, Chasing Happiness, and she's not letting anybody get away from her early. I think that puts both of those gals in a little bit of a tricky spot.
And what about the number 3, Starship Nugget?
Well, I mean, a lot like Our Fantasy, she's going to be spying the speed, and I think that puts her in a good spot, too. Ran very, very well at the level off the claim last time for Carlos Perez, very quietly having a strong meet.
Let's turn the page, and we'll go to race number 8 this afternoon. And this one is about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, allowance optional claimer. These are state-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $20,000. Please note they have one equipment change. The number 4, Emirates Affair, will be wearing blinkers this afternoon. So blinkers on for Peter Walder's horse, the number 4, Emirates Affair. I did go with, let's go with your horse on first because we have a video of it. Yeah. This is Allura Moore, who's making a 4-year-old debut on the Tapeta. I wanted to go back and show you this race. We're going to pick it up just before the 8th pole home. You're going to see her. She's closing well. Now, Zuzu Zhan is on the lead here. The point I want to make, this horse was very game. It's a while back. But they finish in a dead heat. And everybody else is like, down by Hallandale Beach Boulevard in the race. So look at this. She's so game doing this. Now, we haven't seen her in a while. I just thought it was, look, you'll see, here comes the other straggler. But I thought this horse ran a good race with the Frou Zhan on top. And I went back and looked at Frou Zhan. Really hasn't done much since that race. But I just thought this was an interesting video to show.
How do you say that?
Frou Zhan.
4 times. That ties the record, by the way. I like this horse. Let's take a look at a stat, too, for Steve and Miguel. Steve Duasca and Miguel Vasquez, 30% sprinting together in the last year. Here's my thing about this horse. I think we can all agree Steve struggled to get her to the races. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You see the gaps. You see the layoffs. She hasn't run to September 30th. I just have a feeling she's ready to roll today. And I kind of have a feeling like he's got her good. We better fire our shot today. You saw it last time. She ran huge. It's not like she's in for a tag off the break. I think she's going to fire today.
You know, and if you look at her races during her 2-year-old campaign, she never faced maiden. She was always against winners in there, against those 3 Florida Sire Stakes series. So they thought highly of this horse. So coming off the bench, good that you put this one on top. I had it in second because they did go with Dreaming of Audrey on top, was turning back to 5 furlongs after returning from a layoff and responding in the first race after the claim by Jose D'Angelo with a well-meant third against this level, going 5.5. The barn, you know how good they are with their Tapeta runners, about 30% of thereabouts. Edwin Gonzalez in the saddle today.
Yeah, Jose could have a day. I mean, we've got him all over the place today, and this is clearly the horse to beat to me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think these two are the major players here. As we've been saying all show long, this ninth race today is just one that you want to watch, and this one is a 1 mile allowance optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. Optional claiming price $62,500. That is the feature race, and you got the number 2 Chivalry scratched in here with 15 to 1. He was on my ticket. Further down, he was on top of your ticket. He was further down on mine. Just Chivalry. If you can get 15 to 1 in any of these type of races, use it. With that said, let's go with your horse first, the number 4, Tune In. Tell me what you like.
Well, again, I scratch into him, but I think Tune In's got some versatility. It's going to be interesting. We alluded to it, how this race plays out. Amaji 6 down inside with speed. American Prince has got it. Chocolate Bar off the claim for Fausto. You'll talk about him. Brasstown's got speed, too. Well, you know what? Tune In's got a little bit of a rating gear. He showed it last time. I know he ran 3rd in this, behind Amaji 6 and Brasstown. Take a look at the trainer's tattoo for Diane Maurice in here. This is a good move for her. Routes on the dirt in the past 2 years, 24% with a giant ROI. I like the fact that Tune In is definitely the confirmed stalker in this race.
Diane Maurice will be settling that horse this afternoon. The number 7 horse near Chocolate Bar is very interesting. Moves to the Fausto Gutierrez bond after the claim, returns locally after drawing clear to defeat those 50 claimers going a mile on the Churchill main track. Edgar Perez handles this homecoming today. But look back, this horse at Gulfstream was second to prevalence at Gulfstream Park, who went on to win the Grade 2 Commonwealth, and I think you told me won 3 in a row.
He ripped off 3 in a row before losing on in a Grade 1 on Derby Day. And, I was actually shocked to see Fausto's claim 9 horses. It's not his thing. St. George's stable of the Truska fame breeds a lot of horses. I can guarantee you Fausto had his eye on this horse, and then this horse goes to Kentucky, pops in for a tag, and said, you know what? Let's get involved here. Claims him off a huge win last time at Churchill Downs. This horse is very, very dangerous today.
The number 8, Brasstown, is going to depart from the outside after a game outing last out in which he dueled throughout. He finished second behind that repeat winner who we'll be talking about. That's Amaji 6 last time out. Antonio Sano, Edgard's Eye is named to ride this son of Tisnow.
I think the post helps him because at least now Edgard's got some options here and can see what's happening and who's going and who's not. With that being said, we're going a hard, flat, one-turn mile here. These speed horses, they're going to have to run every single step of the way.
A horse that we know is going to take some money in here is the one on a G6 who's going to break from the rail. After holding on to Brasstown, holding off Brasstown, I should say, notching its 2nd consecutive victory for Orby Mirage. Romero Mirage in the saddle going, the tough inside drawers has me concerned a little bit.
That's it, exactly. Now, Romero gave this horse a good trip last time, but that was from the outside. Today, from the inside, I kind of feel like his hands are tied a little bit.
I wanted so hard to put the number 6 Noble Drama on top. He's a winner of over $742,000. He runs well fresh. He returns after going off form against stakes competition last summer and fall. David Fawkes, he's good with this type of layoff. This is where David could jump up and get you 27%. He's got Sonny Leone named on this. This is a hard-knocking 7-year-old. I'm thinking he might need a race.
Bingo. I see 3 works here with gaps in. I'm sure he's done more than that. Don't get me wrong, but I feel exactly the same. He's now 7. Maybe we need one.
Let's go to race number 10 today, our final race of the weekend. And it's going to be about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. And its claim is 3, 4 and up, non-winners of 2, 12, 5 down to $10,000. And you went with the number 8 horse, and it's going with War Feather, who is 8 to 1.
Yeah, I took a shot here. Let's draw a line through the route last time. I think that's easy to do. The race 2 back, he broke dead last from the outside draw. That's not any good. Look at the race 3 back on the Tapeta in a tight, compact field. I thought that was a really, really good 3rd, Ron, and that's the one I'm keying on. We could get Edgar Perez aboard as well.
Well, I went with Banker's Hours, who's stretching out the 5.5 furlongs after chasing the pace and finishing second behind a much the best repeat winner, Mailbox Money, who just keeps on winning. That horse, that was going 5 on the Tapeta. Safi Joseph Jr., what a day he had yesterday. Edgard's Eyes in the saddle, so I thought he was a logical player.
Yeah, without a doubt. Mailbox Money, golf clap to him doing it a different way yesterday. He's in such good form, and so he's coming out of the right race.
The number 3, who we both have some interest in, On Jet Air, is dropping to the 12.5 level. He didn't show his usual early interest, and I'm going to show you why. Excuse me. First, we're going to show you the head-on of the start when he gets bounced around, the old bounced around angle there. You'll see it right there, just gets boink, boink, you know, the whole thing going to just no shot. He got bounced 4 times coming out of the gate, and there you could see where he ends up, and he's still in. He has to shuffle back. He is the number 8 there. You see it. He just didn't have a good trip at all. Not much to show after that. You know, you just see where he ended up going. And I thought it changed his running style. I think with a clean trip, you're going to see him as part of the pace.
Yeah, I agree. We've got a break today, though, and that's the thing. Now the blinkers come off, so hopefully he breaks and maybe he settles a little bit better, too. This is a tough race to get out on this card.
Well, we are done with the 10 races, but we're not done yet. We have our lightning round to go to.
Yeah, we got a busy day to talk about because of what we had yesterday. And just Grant, I mean, Grant David wins the stakes yesterday, did it in a new dimension, too.
Yeah, he was really impressive last time out. You just thought the horse, your best bet, I believe, was there, and said he just couldn't get by. Just couldn't get by this horse. I thought they were all going to go by at one time.
My best bet seemed like he might have hit the bar before the race. He was all over the place in there, and he just couldn't run straight. This horse ran huge, though.
Yeah, as we mentioned at the top, and Safi Joseph Jr., our leading trainer, what a day.
Yeah, guy's all right? I mean, not only that, he unleashes 2 debut winners. First, let's see the 2-year-old that won in race 3. XY Point just running off the screen. A dialed-in colt that certainly looks like he's going places. And then next, well, not next, but one of his other debut winner here is 3 Witches, who wasn't quite as dynamic, but he kind of also hinted at the future. This is a half to Kid Cruz, who earned almost $800,000 and wanted to run long. Safi's not a guy that's going to crank him on debut. I think that's scary next time out for these 2 horses.
Yeah, they were very impressive. Of course, he won the last race just at the last wild, I forget, Cool Star. Just at the last jump with Edgar Zayas, who had 3 wins on the day.
Best bet for me to our fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of us. Yep.
We're together on this, Brian, me, so we'll see Cesar Figueroa, the trainer, right back with me. And your long shot was?
And my long shot, 22 minutes. Number, what do we got here? Down inside a little bit. Candy Mom, 15 on the line. We're 8 right now. Let's see what we get come post time.
And I have that second time starter, Hey Paula, 8-1 in race number 4 for John Vincent. So pretty nice day today. And as far as the racing goes, well, we had a special kind of afternoon yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was National Disability Independence Day, and we celebrated here as racetracks across the country did, and benefiting the PDJF here. And there you can see it in the winner's circle, a great cause. And thanks to everybody who donated and giving back to the athletes that give us so much.
And if you were here with us all weekend long, you heard about the contest that we had. And
that's right.
Yeah, we had a contest, and we know who the winners are.
3 winners, and I'm going to tell you what, Raul, Mark, and Harold, golf clap to you, 3. And that was the number 3 because it was tough sledding yesterday, both here and at Saratoga. You're looking to pick the last 3 winners at Gulfstream on a Saturday, the last 3 winners at Saratoga on a Saturday. We're running this every Saturday. You got to be here. You sign up underneath at Silks. Ronnie, $2,500.
Yeah, I think these guys got $833 each, and it's absolutely free. So make sure you sign up and play it, and we'll see how it works out next Saturday. Last 3 from Gulfstream, the last 3 from Saratoga.
We didn't give Pete a lot of time, but he doesn't have a lot to do because only a couple of scratches and changes. He's coming up next. Thanks.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.